Today we're talking about peg stands. We've all used peg stands for action figures, and we know they've got some issues. You buy a batch, and you hope they'll work with most of your figures, but then they only work with some, and you end up buying another batch, and you hope they'll work with more. Maybe they do, but they usually don't, and you keep trying them out, and eventually you end up with this eclectic mix of stands until you just give up, because what you wanted all along was one stand that worked for all your stuff. This is why I made the Hex Base. The Hex Base uses a modular peg system that allows you to swap out pegs as needed. If you need a larger peg, swap it out for a larger peg. If you need a smaller peg, swap it out for a smaller peg. It just works, and it works with more action figures than any other peg stand anybody else has ever made. This video is going to go over the newest product in the Hex Base line, which is the Hex Base 2. These new bases are much smaller than the standard Hex Base and are intended to be used in pairs with one on each of a figure's feet. They utilize the same pegs as the standard Hex Base and have the same compatibility, but by having two separate bases, they can be used for more dynamic poses and with larger figures. You can also use these to achieve standing poses that would otherwise be too imbalanced by using the bases to provide support in the direction that the figure would otherwise fall while in that pose. So you can achieve some of those poses that move the center of gravity either too far forward or too far back that you previously would have had to use a stand arm to get, using just these. Now, Mr. Beams, do these actually work? Will they actually keep my action figures upright? Yes. Yes, they will. In fact, they are dramatically more stable than I am. The stability testing that I do with these is pretty excessive, and usually a lot more than they're going to deal with sitting on a shelf. So yeah, they work pretty well. When you get the peg size right, the figures are generally very secure. All of the figures that you see here, for instance, have been hanging upside down from the pegs for 2 days. As the Hex Base does use a modular peg system, there are expansion sets available with more sizes like extra large, extra small, and pegs that are designed to cater towards specific figure lines that require them. I do intend to continue to expand compatibility for the Hex Bases by developing new expansion sets. These do take a lot of time though, as I have to collect a lot of data across a lot of figures in a line to develop a new set. The next line that I am working on is Star Wars Vintage Collection. So, how do you use the Hex Bases? The first step is to find the right size peg for the figure. These come with a standard array of small, medium, and large pegs, and you're just going to try them out. The right peg isn't going to be loose, it's not going to go in too easily, but you're also not going to have to force it. If you have to force the peg in, it's the wrong size. When you have found the right peg, you need to plug it into the base. To do this, insert the end with the peg first on whichever side of the socket you want the peg to be, either towards the center of the base or towards the edge. Then, using a solid object like another peg, a base, or a coin, apply even pressure and push the peg all the way into the socket until it's flush. Then, place the base on a firm surface and plug the figure onto the base. Adjust the pose to your liking, and you're done. To remove a peg, turn the base upside down, take a loose peg, align the loose peg, peg end down, to the bottom of the inserted peg like shown to make an L shape, and then just push down. I really hope that you all enjoy these, as the Hex Bases have been a very big passion project for me as a collector, as it is essentially what I always hoped I would get when I ordered random batches of peg stands online. I just wanted something that works, and that's what I hope I've given you here. These will be available starting March 14th on canofbeams.com, which is also when this video is going up, so I guess they're available now on canofbeams.com. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me on either my Instagram or Facebook page, or through the contact page on the website. Thank you very much, and keep collecting.